call the meeting to order. Will everybody
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
of the minutes from September 20th, 2000?
Oh, are you on the different agenda?
I'm on the wrong.
Yep. Blind time? Oh, yeah, okay. Thank you. Sorry, I was trying to pull it up and I didn't realize you were finished talking. So, hello, planning board. So this is RZ 220901 at Blindheim Lane. So SMB, as you said, SMB of Greenville 2 LLC submitted a general rezoning request to rezone from mixed use 2 to business center for the properties listed below and in the slide. As you remember, we did a text amendment last month, and council did approve the text amendment to allow business center as a zoning in our development ordinance. So now the applicant's coming back for a rezoning. This is the current conditions of the site. The applicant has better pictures. They're going to show you much prettier pictures, but I didn't want to copy and paste off their slides on mine, so I just used Go Maps. As you can see, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 parcels and a road. They'll be rezoned to business center if you guys recommend approval and the council approves it. As I said, the location's off of Blindheim Lane. The current zoning is mixed use 2. The existing uses are construction businesses, softball, rifle and pistol club, CrossFit gyms, medical supplies, etc. And the proposed site is 12.03 acres, and there will be no traffic generation. They're not building anything. They're just doing a general rezoning. So this site, yeah, as I said, is built out, and this information really wouldn't apply unless it's redeveloped as a business center. So I have some density limits. There's no density limits for BC business center, because residential is not allowed. They would have to do 10,000 square foot minimum lot sizes if they were to redevelop. Similar lot size setbacks, 40 foot front and rear, side 15. And they would have to do type B buffers against, well, for this site, it would be a type C, which is a 30 foot, I think it's like 70% opacity. I forgot to put the opacity up here. And they would be required to put open space. But I don't think the applicant's intending to build out. I just wanted to let you guys see that in like your agenda package, just in case, for consideration. The future land use plan does identify this area as walkable activity center. So for like sit-down restaurants, offices, live or shop units, townhomes, condominiums. Business center isn't consistent, but it is reasonable. Since we did just add this to our development ordinance, I do think it's a reasonable request. Council decided to adopt it as well, so just keep in mind, I'm going back to the last slide, it's really not compatible with our future land use plan, but business center, whenever you get a rezoning, it's not going to be consistent, no matter what, for any property in town. until we redo our comprehensive land use plan. And we are planning on doing an update to it next year. This is in the small area plan, Monroe Expressway. Small area plan, which identifies this area as office, multifamily, commercial, large retail, entertainment. It's inconsistent as well with this, but again, I do believe it's reasonable. Council decided to add the zoning category into our ordinance. That's my reasoning. The history is quite long, but essentially, it's exactly the same history as when I brought the text amendment to you. The applicant came by, wanted to add a tenant to their property, and it wasn't allowed in mixed use too. So they applied for a text amendment to allow more retail, light industrial uses. It was approved by council last month, and that's why we're here today. So there was no community meeting or subcommittee meetings needed for this general rezoning. So general rezonings don't require those. But we are here tonight on the 18th for planning board, that's required. And then town council's on November 28th for this. Staff recommends approval for RZ 220901. The zoning BC Business Center is inconsistent with the comprehensive land use plan, but I do believe it's reasonable because the applicant, had tried a good faith effort to put a text amendment. They did a great job with the text amendment. The council liked it, they approved it. You guys also recommended approval. So it is reasonable. You have any questions for me before the applicant? One of them is like a road. So these, on Go Maps, I use kind of what the applicant sent me, but on Go Maps, they have like multiple different parcels on it, numbers and everything. I try to do my best research on it. I can list these for the record. I can list them verbally, the parcel numbers, if you'd like, but I don't know why it doesn't have a number. I think that's the road, honestly. The road has its like own separate parcel, and I'm not sure why. I'm sure the applicant might be able to mention something. Yeah, okay. Maybe that's why it's parceled out.
Because you've got buildings on either side, it looks like you're just parking,
Okay. Thank you for driving down there. I know I've been kind of dealing with helping the applicants out for a year. I haven't ever driven to the site, but I have seen their pretty pictures on their presentation. I actually was thinking about trying it out to go to a CrossFit gym one day over there, but I didn't. It's not feasible for me to do a CrossFit class in the middle of work day. Well, the applicant is here. Would you like them to do a presentation? Okay. I thought I had put their presentation.
Picture's nice.
I know, I thought I put their presentation in here. Let me see. I know, I thought I did. This is my presentation. Gosh, where is it? I apologize. I think I will need to go back to the text amendment application.
Email from here? We did.
I cannot get my email. I have to log in. I don't even know. I apologize about this.
Is there a way that I can get it to you from here?
Do you have a flash drive with you or anything?
Go to my phone.
No, I don't. I
I mean,
apologize.
we can do without.
No, I'm really sorry about this. I thought it was on here. I have the text amendment one. I can pull. Okay, I apologize.
This one was a lot better, but.
Yeah, they had a great presentation. I'm so sorry about this. I think they were approved on the 26th. Yeah. So this is their, yeah, so I apologize again. I thought it was on here.
Thank you. My name is Colin Brown. I'm an attorney with Alexander Ricks in Charlotte, representing SMB Greenville. Peter Cushell is with me. You'll hear from him in a moment. Thanks again for seeing us. Max has done a great job. The backstory is then when this property was developed, there was an industrial zoning. The story is the town then changed their zoning, and so Mr. Cushell found himself with property that didn't really comply with the ordinance. We talked about taking it to industrial. We looked at your land use plan. We kind of agreed with the town that you were trying to go in a different direction. So we spent a good amount of time coming up with a new district that we thought was a good fit. And so the last time we were before you, we were talking about this business center zoning district and how we thought it was a good kind of hybrid. It didn't have the nasty things that you want in industrial, but it allowed some of the things that we needed here. So thank you for your recommendation on that. The text amendment was approved unanimously by the town council. And so now we're here for part two. We're applying that BC zoning to this specific property. And I do, just kind of going through the photos with you. Thank you for going out there and looking at it. This is not a big stretch. We're not building anything new. We're essentially just adding entitlements to this site so that when tenants like SafeLight, who we could not accommodate under your MU2, when they come along, we can put them into the property. But I did just have some photos, and maybe I don't have as many in this deck as I had in our prior deck. So thanks again for going out, but just wanted you to see that the area, as you can see, is fairly industrial. The uses that are around us, we actually think our use is one of the lighter uses in the area, and so we do think it is appropriate. Again, I know that y'all have some new townhome development. I had a different visual, but I think there's nice buffering in place. And the goal now is just to really have this properly entitled so the property can continue investing, attracting new tenants to the property. Happy to answer any questions. I'll let Peter tell you a little bit just about the character of the property or answer any questions you have about that.
Perfect, thanks, Colin. Hello, everyone. Thank you all for being here again and for hearing our situation, and thank you for all the recommendations thus far. I'm gonna sound a little bit like a broken record because I was here a month ago when we were going through the text amendment, and now back for our property to be put in the new BC text amendment zoning. But when we acquired the property in 2006, me and three individuals from South Carolina who were from North Carolina originally, none of them had a North Carolina address, and so none of them were notified when the property was rezoned, although I was the asset manager of the group, and I was under the notice section, but for whatever reason, we were just never notified it was rezoned. And so when SafeLight came to us to go in last year, and all of a sudden we found our property to be rezoned, had been rezoned, we were caught off guard in a big way. And so we were surprised. So we've been battling with this since November of last year. But as Colin said, all we're trying to do is just get the property back so where it complies with how the property was originally permitted and constructed, which is a light industrial park. We have drive-in doors, truck courts. We're probably 15-20% office, 80% warehouse. But we are very big into keeping our properties nice, landscaping, painting, asphalt. We're big into appearances. We just find that's better for the communities we're in and for the tenants, and it's just better for the longevity of everyone around us, including ourselves. So we've never tried to make it look industrial, although it had more of an industrial component originally with the zoning, but we just want to go back with the minimum that we could get to sustain as the property was developed, which was this text amendment and the business center. So yeah, that's kind of the history of the property, and any questions I'm happy to answer, but it is certainly important for the viability of the park, just because the MU2 that it is currently zoned, those type of tenants just don't fit into how the property is configured, which is why it's so viable and so important to us. But again, happy to answer any questions, but we're certainly not looking for anything that it was more than what we had a few years ago. Okay, thank you all very much for your time.
I hope they're not mad, but I think I know where the presentation is now. I know, they were already like all the way through their speaking, and I was like, oh, I know where it is, and I didn't want to interrupt them. Yeah, that's why I was gonna pull it up. Let's see. Oh, that's the rezoning application, I think. Let's see, I thought I put it in here. Oh my gosh, where is it? Okay, it's just not in here. I don't know what happened to anything. I swear I saved it, but you know what? It's over and done with. I will not be like that for council, so I apologize. Now I know. You have any questions for me? Okay. It's not a public hearing. Planning board doesn't have a public hearing. It's a typo on that agenda item. I'll let you guys vote or however you want to do. But
And
it's,
that it's reasonable.
yeah,
The surrounding development and
that works. It's perfect. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you all very much. That's okay. Appreciate it. Have a good evening.
Sergi? That's correct, you got that one right.
R1 to mixed use.
All right. Thank you, planning board. So yes, I'm here today again. Well, I like acting like I'm restarting the meeting, but this is RZ 220902 SFR 1 to MU2, so single family residential 1 to mixed use 2. So they had submitted the property for, submitted the general rezoning for the property at 0704003 off of Stevens Mill Road. There's not quite an address for it on Go Maps. It's called 0 Stevens Mill Road. So I didn't really include that, but I just wanted to make sure that you guys knew that the address was there. I just don't know if 0 is the, sounds like, it doesn't really sound like it's a correct property. I'm not sure. So the current conditions of the site, it has an easement going through the center of the site, and it's wooded right now. It is located adjacent to the Stevens Mill Crossing Harris Teeter Shopping Center, very close to where Firestone is right now, and across from Willowbrook and Hunley Creek. And it's also adjacent to some single-family residential properties to the rear. There's like a weird, there's a road that connects through the shopping center. I would say weird isn't the best word. I apologize about that. I just don't. It's an interesting entrance to those properties to the rear, and to the south is Southstone, which is a neighborhood being currently developed, which they're like 90% through with their zoning compliances. This is the street view for the property off of Stevens Mill Road. There is a sidewalk. So like I said, the location is at 0 Stevens Mill Road. The ownership is William Trotter Company. The property's currently zoned SFR1. It's vacant, 7.98 acres. And we're not considering traffic generation at this point. No site plan's been submitted. It's just a general rezoning. And you can see the map here. The SFR1 color, it's really hard to tell, but it's like this very pale yellow color right in the center of the screen. And adjacent to it, north is MU2. That's the zoning that they're requesting, is the green zoning. So it is adjacent to MU2 already. This is actually kind of hard to see. I apologize. So this is just a dimensional requirements comparison between SFR1 and MU2. This SFR1 has requirements for single-family detached. So they are required to have 20,000 minimum square foot lot sizes, 100-foot lot width, 40-foot front and rear setbacks, 12-foot side, and their density is 1.6 units an acre. But that's only for single-family detached. This zoning category does allow like open space, some agriculture, but it's primarily single-family detached zoning. MU2 has requirements only for single-family detached. So they're required to have 6,000 square foot lot minimums, 40-foot lot widths, 16-foot front setbacks, 12-foot rear, 5-foot sides. I don't think that's the applicant's intent, but I just wanted you to know that if like in the future, it could be developed for single family, but I don't believe that's the applicant's intent. I'm gonna back out of this real quick and I'll just go over some of the uses in the use table. This is really hard to see, but MU2 is right here. I made it one of the last zoning categories on here. Some of the allowed uses, like clothing repair, apparel sales, athletic fields, a bakery, batting cage, bicycle assembly. I think that I'm gonna scroll down a little bit. I think with the intent of the applicant is a medical office. I know you're not supposed to consider that, but I wanted to show you that mixed use 2 allows a lot of variety of uses of offices and retail. So it allows, you know, dental offices, architecture office, administrative offices, government offices, law office, and things like that. So it's MU2 is a majority retail commercial use zoning category. And if you have any questions about any specific uses, like if anything's allowed, feel free to ask. In December of last year, we took away all the industrial uses out of mixed use 2. Council approved that in December of last year. So some of the dimensional requirements, SFR1 has 1.6 units an acre. MU2 only has 4 units an acre for single family detached. There's no density requirements for commercial. They are required to do buffers. So there's quite a few different buffers for MU2. So there would be no buffers against their MU2 neighbor at the north if this was approved. They would do a type A 40-foot buffer adjacent to the single-family residential properties. 10% open space is required for MU2. 55 of that has to be improved. They are also required, let's say they build their medical office there, they would be required to put street trees. They would have to conserve 3% of the total area of trees. They would have to have parking lot landscaping, and if the property was zoned, built for residential, they would have to put a berm, but not for a commercial site. The future land use plan shows this area for single-family neighborhood, which is a single-family detached use. There's no small area plan for this area. So the zoning to MU2 is, it's kind of inconsistent. I say it's inconsistent because it does allow single-family and detached, but MU2 is really there for that commercial use. So I think it's reasonable because it does allow single-family neighborhoods, but I don't believe that's the intent of the future land use category. Single-family neighborhood is a mixed use, even though mixed use allows single-family detached. Does that make sense? I know I said it. I think I said it in a backwards. I said it to myself in my head before a presentation, and now I'm saying it out loud. It doesn't work. So mixed use 2 allows single-family detached homes, but I do not believe the intent of mixed use 2 matches the intent of the future land use plan for single-family detached. They're kind of two different types of single-family detached. So I do believe it's inconsistent, but I do think it's reasonable for this area. It's adjacent to commercial already, and mixed use 2 does allow for single-family detached anyways. So that's, if you want additional clarification, I'd be happy to go over that again. So the Greenway Master Plan, there's a lot of information on this page, but there is a Greenway plan adjacent through this property. I just wanted you guys to know that any proposed development in this area will have to comply with the Greenway Master Plan, or there's a fee in lieu cost, but the town always prefers them to go ahead and put in the Greenway. I know it would be a Greenway to nothing, but there's another rezoning going before the council at the next week at the annexation site, and they're required to put a Greenway in, and eventually we would like them all to connect. So, yeah. I just didn't want to say Epcon, but here you go, it's Epcon. Yeah. Yeah. So when I zoom into this, so the Greenway Master Plan is, oops. It's not as clear as I'd like it to be. It looks like it's on the property according to this, but this is the only picture, this is the most close picture I have to their property for that. So I would have to ask our, Destination by Design, who designed this, for a clear, more precise picture of the parcels, what they planned. I don't have that at the moment of the presentation, but I do believe it is on the property, just looking at it from this.
Looks like it is, but.
Yeah. You have any questions about the Greenway? I believe it's required. So staff recommendation, so this area is identified as single-family neighborhood in the comprehensive land use plan. The council has recently taken a position of supporting local businesses and businesses of expanding uses. So I believe that expanding the single-family neighborhood, or single-family SFR1 to an MU2 is meeting that intent. And it, again, mixed use 2 still does allow for single-family homes. And the future land use plan calls for a single-family neighborhood. So I think it's inconsistent and reasonable. So I recommend approval. I would say this is a general rezoning again. No community meeting or subcommittee meeting is required for this. And today's the planning board hearing. Planning board. I don't know. Hearing is a typo. And then town council hearing is going to be on November 28th. Do you have any questions about the rezoning? The applicant's also here. I believe he'd like to say something. Yeah, I'll let the applicant kind of present their plan for the easement. Okay, I'll let the applicant. Okay.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Dr. Sergey Denisovich. I am a general dentist. I've been practicing on that plaza right above Stevens Mill Crossing Center. In fact, if you drive by, you'll see Denisovich Dentistry. So I was there, well, I'm still there, but I've been doing it for about 9 years. I love Stallings and would love to help Stallings to become a better city. And this land has been on the market for a while. In fact, if this is true, I think at some point this land was zoned MU2, but because the owner has not acted upon it, I think it rolled back to the residential. So I would like to purchase this land and have it converted to MU. I would like to build my dental office there and some medical offices. to encourage business in Stallings. About easement, somebody had a question. So if you see that red line to your right, no, I'm sorry, yes, to your right, that is kind of in the woods, and that's like a gravel road. And this road underneath it is actual sewer that services the Stevens Mill Crossings Shopping Center. And it just kind of runs up and down like that. And what I've learned is that can't develop anything for about 2 more years or 3 more years because of the sewer in the issue in the Union County. So I think right now at this point, we're just trying to convert this from rezone the land. That's pretty much it. Do you have any questions for me? The owner is Trojan William Company. It's a big company. Well, they actually, if you look to your right, below the red property that I'm trying to purchase, it was part of that huge big subdivision, and they just subdivided into this land, and they just didn't want to deal with it, I guess, because of the electrical wires. You can see the line through in the middle, kind of going this way, the black line through the property. It's actually electrical wire, so you would have to move them to the side. Yeah, that's a lot in this land. Actually, this was talked with the owner, absolutely. Yeah, they're fully aware of it, absolutely.
We don't have anything in writing, but we can request something from they're aware of the rezoning at least.
Yeah, my contract with the owner is that the only way I'm gonna buy this land is if Stallings approves it to be commercial land. So they're fully aware of it. Yeah. But we'll be happy to provide any documentation of that if you would like. Absolutely, yeah. No problem at all. Yeah, you're welcome. Nice meeting you all.
Oh, by the way, she does have a letter of intent from the owner as well. If you would like to see them, she can show you them. Okay.
But I will email them to you, but I do have those.
Yeah, of course. Close. So you're, oh, let them call you. For your presentation.
Okay, so here I'm going to be discussing with you all I'm going to get to this schedule here for next year in a couple of minutes, but first I would like to discuss with you all the December date. As you can see on the memo, just to discuss the December date for planning board from December 20th I know that in previous years, past, that this date has been moved forward in order to compensate for Christmas being close to kind of the holidays, things like that. So, open to discuss with you all if we would like to go ahead and move that forward. Or we can keep it at the same date, December 20th. Well, we could move it like a week prior, so,
You can change it to any of those days.
yeah.
Or you could cancel it, it's up to you guys. No? Request to move it to the 16th or the 15th of December, pending on there's no other meetings in the council. You guys okay with that? Y'all
Need a
vote.
motion?
Y'all, yeah. Same time, sorry, can you say, is it 7 o'clock okay? Okay, good. It's a 15.
All right, yep, and now up on the screen, I do have next year's, and that we are also going to be, making it so that planning board is, not planning board, sorry, no, I was getting ahead of myself. Anyway, this is for planning board here, these are the dates for the 2023 planning board schedule. And as noted, for like November and December, we did move the dates forward a week, just so maybe we can beat out some of that, anything occurring around the holidays. But these are the dates right here. That, you can pick these dates if you'd like. You can also play around with the time if you want to move it to like 6:30, for example, anything like that.
If you wanted to, you could. These are, historically, planning board meets on the third Tuesday, so 10 out of the 12 are on the third Tuesday. It's kind of close to Christmas.
Yeah, those two at the end would be at the second Tuesday if you decide to choose this.